And first of all, just to commend my colleague Mairead Farrell for both bringing forward the motion and her work with Deputy Clerk for the related legislation. I want to just broaden out the debate a little bit to some direct experiences that I have with FOI that I think really show why the public and very specific groups of people absolutely have the right to know. And these are reflections on my own experience struggling to get FOI, some of which I'm still battling several years on. As members of the House will know, in Milford Manor in Newbridge, County Kildare, there was a very serious fire a number of years ago due to very shoddy Celtic Tiger era construction work. An entire block of terraced homes burnt down in 60 minutes when there should have been a 60-minute fire break between each home. Alan Kelly was the then Minister for Housing. He commissioned an urgent study. That study was completed. But it took us 2 years to get that report published. Residents living in the surrounding houses, who were living in homes built by the very same developer, potentially with the same defects, were denied access to that for a period of 2 years. What better case of the right for the public to know than to know if the home in which they're living in is unsafe? I can see no reason why many of us were denied access to that report despite repeated FOI requests. The usual excuse, deliberation, and while that is acceptable for a short period of time, it wasn't for the full duration. More controversially, and one that Deputy Doherty will know well, it has been almost 5 years since the Mulcahy report commissioned into allegations of planning corruption in Donegal was completed following the request of the then Minister for the Environment. We have been FOIing that report every 6 months since 2017-2018. And not only has the most recent request been refused, but in fact we've been told that the department has no timeline. Now that may have been acceptable when these matters were matters within the department, but they're now matters for the planning regulator. And I can see no reason why that report, again, which directly relates to individuals who had to fight to clear their name in the courts and their good standing, and therefore the department and the current minister seems to be following the approach of his predecessor in using various ruses to prevent access to that really important report, which may indeed reveal very significant issues in relation to the ongoing controversy around defective block and mica affecting thousands of families in Donegal. I'm also currently fighting battles about trying to get records from Dublin City Council in relation to correspondence between Dublin City Council, Dublin Fire Brigade and Stanley Holdings in relation to 2 fire inspections in 2011-2012 in a housing estate in Belmain in North County Dublin, again on an issue of defects and whether or not systems failed between Dublin City Council, Fire Brigade, and what interactions did they have with the developers between a fire safety inspection in 2011 that found no defects and one in 2012 that found others. I have other disputes in relation to the Land Development Agency, in relation to the Shared Equity Loan Scheme. I've experience of putting in FOIs, identical FOIs, to 3 different state agencies and getting different responses from all 3. So while I appreciate their rules and the FOI officers do a very good job, I am absolutely convinced that at a political level, decisions are being made and excuses are being found in the legislation to deny the public access to this documentation unacceptably. And therefore, for those reasons, not only would I urge you to support the motion before us, but listen to the concerns of the opposition to ensure that these other issues are also dealt with into the future.